My name is Nicholas. I was born in the year 270. Now it's 2017 now. That was 1,767 years ago, last March. I was born in the Roman Empire on the Mediterranean in a country we now call Turkey. I don't know why they call it Turkey. When I was 9 years old, my parents died.
You realize Santa's showing
I was
us
very
people,
sad,
right?
and I miss my parents
I said,
still.
just let me film you.
I was
that's
raised
the
by
point.
the monks and the priests in the church. I lived in a monastery for most of my youth. What a great experience to live in the church. They taught me many great and wonderful things. They taught me foreign languages like Latin and Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic. They taught me math and science and astronomy and astrology. Many, many great and wonderful things. I loved my life living amongst the priests. In fact, it was so wonderful that when I grew up, I decided to become a priest myself. And I did. In fact, I was the bishop of Myra, a small village nearby. What a great experience to be the priest, to be the bishop, and to be able to help people. The most important thing I learned in my time living in the monastery with the priests and being a priest myself was to love the children, to love everybody. In fact, I used to do surprise gifts for people. Never told them who it was from, but I did many great, wonderful gifts. Now, something was happening to me as I was growing up, getting older. I wasn't getting older.
What?
In fact, by the time I was 50, I still looked like I was 20. And by the time I was 70, I don't think I even looked 30. People were beginning to murmur and whisper, how come Nicholas isn't getting older? He looks younger. I decided that they wouldn't understand, and I decided I should leave the village. I never died. I don't know why I never died. I never tried. I just never died. And now I am 1,767 years old. Now, after I left the village, I traveled all over the known world. I went to every village, every continent, every country that I could find to visit the people, to experience their lives and see what they were doing, and to give love and to give gifts everywhere I went. Shortly after I left my village of Myra on the Mediterranean, I wanted to go to Bethlehem. I wanted to go and see where Jesus had been born and where he lived. Of course, I had to walk the whole way. Walked for days and days all the way down to Jerusalem. And I was on my way down the road to Bethlehem. I heard the funniest sound. It sounded like somebody was crying. What's the matter? It was this little boy. He's a little bit bigger than him, and he was crying. I said, why are you crying? He says, I've lost one of the lambs. He had this flock of sheep, like 99 of them. And I says, where did the lamb go? He says, I don't know. I can't find it. I says, well, why don't you go look for it? And he said, I can't. I have to watch the sheep, or they'll all run off. What are we going to do? Tell you what. I will watch your sheep for you, but you have to teach me how, because I've never watched sheep before. And you can go look for the lost lamb. And he showed me this stick. This one here. And I says, what's that? He says, it's a crook. I says, this looks really old. Where did you get it? He says, I don't know. It was my great-grandfather's. He calls it the shepherd's staff of the shepherds of Bethlehem. He said, you don't hook onto the sheep with it like that. You just gently tap them on the leg. And that tells them which way to go. okay, I think I can handle that. So he gave me the crook to help me to watch the sheep, and he left to go hunt for the lost lamb. And I watched the sheep all day. They were pretty good. They just mostly just ate grass. And we walked around a little bit. And it got late in the day, and the sheep all gathered around, and they were kind of noisy. Bah! Bah! Especially that mom that was missing her lamb. She's kind of noisy. And I built a fire, and it was getting dark, and I waited and waited and waited for the shepherd boy to come back. I was getting worried. What happens if he doesn't come back? What'll I do with this crook? What'll I do with these sheep? It got later and later into the night. It seemed like it was almost morning. It was so quiet, except for that mama lamb going bah, bah. And then I heard this sound coming over the hill. It was dark, I could barely see. But in the silhouette of the moon, there was a little boy coming up over the hill. And he was crying again. Oh no, he hasn't found it. Oh my God. And as he came close to the fire, he had the little lamb in his arms. He was crying because he was so happy he had found the lamb and found his way back to the sheep camp where the sheep were. And he sat down by me and we talked. And it was so late at night, and we both just kind of drifted off to sleep. I must have slept in really late. So when I woke up, I'd been awake all night. The sun was high in the sky. And I looked around, and the little boy was gone. And I looked out in the field, and all the sheep were gone. But lying beside me was this crook, this staff that belonged to the shepherds of Bethlehem, who herald the birth of the Savior 2,000 years ago now. What does this story mean to you and me today? Who watches after you when your mom and dad aren't here? The Savior does. When you have to leave your home to go to school, to go to work, to go on a mission, to go out in the world, who watches over your family for you? The Savior does. Just like Nicholas watched over the sheep for the little boy all those years ago. Okay, take a half a breath.